Well, hey y'all, welcome back to Life with Nana. I'm Nana, and I'm so glad you're here today. Today we're making cookies, and we're gonna make three different kind of drop cookies, and so we're gonna get started on the first one, and it is a whole wheat oatmeal cookie. So I'm excited about this cookie because it uses whole wheat or whole grain flour, and I am experimenting with my new grain meal. It's new to me. It's not brand new, but it is new to me. So we're making a whole wheat oatmeal cookie, and it sounded really good, and I hope it will be good because uh, I think these will freeze well, and we can put some of them in the freezer, and we can gift some, and we can have some to uh, just have around. So that's the goal. So the first thing I want to do is I want to get some parchment paper on my pan. And one of the tips that I found is just to wad it up. And then when you bring it back out, it'll go back in your pan. Much better, much easier. It won't be flying all over your kitchen. So that would be a nice thing. All right, so I'm going to set this over here. Now I'm watching a timer on my microwave over here because I've got bread in the oven and I want to make sure that I don't overcook it. Okay, so the first recipe is whole wheat oatmeal cookies. And I have my KitchenAid mixer here. Let me get you fixed where you can see a little bit better. And I have my pan over here to put them on. And let's see. The recipe says to combine the flour, so I have 1 cup of whole wheat flour. Or this is freshly milled flour, whole grain flour. And then you want your cinnamon, your baking powder, your soda, your salt, and I have all that together in one thing. The recipe will be down in the show notes, so don't worry about trying to keep up with it while we're doing it. And it just says to mix that together. So let's do that right fast. Okay. So I have 1 cup of packed brown sugar. Right. And then 1/4 of a cup of applesauce. And this is a half a cup, so I'm only going to put half of this in there. I misread the recipe. All right. So applesauce is a really good replacer for oil in any kind of baking, or in most baking. I shouldn't say any kind. Applesauce and your egg whites. I have 2 egg whites here at room temperature. Your butter, vanilla, and then we're going to mix this together. So that butter needed to be softened or melted, and so it won't take it but a second. Now I have 2 tablespoons of melted butter. That's going in. And vanilla and mix. And you guys, this says a teaspoon and a half of vanilla. I say vanilla is measured with your heart. So we're going to put some vanilla in there. All right. And then we're going to turn this on and we're just going to let it blend together. We're going to let this mix together. Right. I need to scrape the sides. And these are all cookies that I have never made before. So we're going to experiment together and see how they turn out. Let's get that mixed together again. All right. This is very, very thin. But we still have to add our oatmeal and our raisins. So it says blend in your oats and raisins and then drop. So we're going to put in our oatmeal cup and what is this? A cup and a third. No, I'm sorry. 3/4 of a cup. And I'm just going to take my spoon. And we're going to mix this together. Okay, now we got a 1/2 cup of raisins. We're going to put those in. And we're going to stir this together. So I have my pan. Get the mixer back out of the way. I have my pan here. And it says to drop by rounded teaspoons so that you can, look at where you can see, onto your pan. And then you're going to preheat your oven to 375 degrees. And then you're going to cook these cookies 10 to 12 minutes. And you're going to get them off of your pan and put them on a cooling rack. And hopefully they'll be delicious. That's what we're hoping for. So I have a little cookie scoop and I'm going to try this. But if this doesn't work, I'm going to go in with my teaspoon and see how that does. It did say rounded. I think this is working really well. I think that had a little too much on it. Okay. There's just a little bit of dough in here. There's a little bit of dough left in there. But we're going to get these in the oven and we're going to set our timer for 10 minutes and then we'll come back and check it. So I'm going to go ahead and roll these out on this. This is an actual cookie sheet. The other ones that I was using are a cooking sheet, something like you would be cooking something. This one, you see how it has just a little lip here and it doesn't have a lip here. This is made by Wilton, good brand. To be honest, I can't tell much difference in a cooking sheet and a cookie sheet. We have the first batch out and they look good. Um, they're hot, so I didn't taste them. So we are going to work on, these are double chocolate chip cookies. So it has 2 cups of all-purpose flour, a teaspoon of baking soda, a half a teaspoon of salt, 4 cups of chocolate chips. But you take 2 cups of those and you melt those in the microwave, okay? Then you have 3/4 of a cup of butter, and you have a 3/4 of a cup of sugar, 2 eggs, and vanilla. Now I am going to put my butter in the microwave for a minute and let it start melting. And we had to turn our oven down to 350 because the other batch was cooked at 375. And we'll see how they turn. On the first batch, I did add just a little more flour because there was no way to scoop them out. So I'm not sure. Maybe I should have just let them sit because I'm dealing with, in that recipe, I was dealing with fresh milled flour. It needs a little extra time to soak up, and I didn't give it that time. So maybe I should have. So we'll see how these turn out. If we don't like these, we might try them one more time and let them sit and see how they do when you let them soak up. So we'll see how that goes. All right, so my recipe, I'm having to refer to my recipes quite often because I've never made these cookies before. So we're gonna get these going. So stir together your flour. I have my flour right here. Soda and salt in a small bowl. So we're gonna do that. And then it says in a bowl, place 2 cups of chocolate chips and melt them in the microwave. So we've already done that. And then in a large bowl, beat the butter and the sugar until fluffy. And I think my butter is should have been not melted. It should have been just uh, softened, but it is what it is. So we're going with it. Okay, I definitely think that you should not melt the butter, but that's where we're at, so that's what we're going to do. And it said to beat the butter and the sugar until fluffy, and then add the eggs, and we're going to do that. Okay. So now it says to add the melted, and I'm going to take this off because it's hard to do anything with this on here. It says to add, blend in your melted chocolate. We're going to do that, and we're going to do it quickly and get it back in there so that this melted chocolate doesn't harden back up on us. All right. We're going to let that beat up a little bit, and then we'll start adding our flour. And then we will add in our other chocolate chips. These are going to be yummy. The recipe doesn't call for vanilla. But a little vanilla can't hurt. I'm putting vanilla in it. And it says gradually add the flour and beat it well while we're doing. I know this is loud, so I apologize for that, but that's just, we're going to do it the way it says. We're going to have 2 cups of all-purpose flour here. I'm going to turn this off. I'm going to add a little bit, and we're going to do it gradually, like it said. Got a little flour cloud going on over here. All right, we're going to do the rest of this. Go on low. Let it kind of mix in just a little bit so that it doesn't poof up into a big gigantic cloud on me. Nobody wants that, right? Okay. And now we're going to add our let me put you down. Our 2 cups of chocolate chips, and we're going to stir those in. I have a sink full of dirty dishes, but that's okay. I've got a clean dishwasher. We always start out with a clean dishwasher. All right, chocolate chip, you're going in there. Get in there. So we're going to do our first pan, and it says the same thing, rounded teaspoons, and I have my teaspoon little scoop here. It looks like this is going to make a lot of cookies. We want these to be about probably a good inch apart. I'm going to add just a little bit to that first one. You know what? You can just do it with your hands. And let me swap sides here so you can see the cookies as I'm doing them. So we're going to get the first pan in, and I'm going to set my timer for 8 minutes. Let's finish getting this batch on here. We're going to put these in. There's not many left, so we're going to go ahead and get these in the oven with the other ones. We're going to put these in the oven, and I'm going to set a timer for 8 minutes. Okay, so we got those out of the oven, and they look fantastic. They look really, really good. Our third cookie is a chocolate chip oatmeal cookie. And this one calls for just a boxed cake mix, yellow cake mix. You're going to be using this instead of flour and sugar. So it says to preheat your oven to 350. That's done. It says to combine your cake mix, your oats, and don't worry, all the recipes will be in the show notes. I worry about people trying to write things down, and when I have a recipe, I always put it in the show notes. All right, so it says combine your cake mix, your oats, and your butter, and it is 3/4 of a cup of softened butter. So a stick of butter is a 1/2 cup. And then I had another 1/2 stick, so that's going in there. Mix well, and the eggs. We're going to put the eggs in. And we're just going to mix this all together. And then we're going to stir this in. And I'm going to scrape down the sides. All right. And I'm going to add the chocolate chips. That's a stiff dough, so that's why I'm adding it with the mixer. And if you let your bowl down and you let your beater keep going, it will clean the beater off if you have a thick batter like this. This smells really good. I think that yellow cake smells good anyway. So it does say the exact same thing. Drop by rounded teaspoonfuls onto your pan. And so that's what we're going to do. Our oven is preheated to 350. That's right where it should be. Now, I think that any of these recipes, you could get the dough to this point and go ahead and do this. Put it on your sheet and put this in the freezer and flash freeze it. And then you could get them out whenever you wanted to, and just make a few here and there if that's what you wanted to do. My sweet neighbor across the road, Miss Lily, she brought cookies several weeks ago, and they were so good. They were really delicious, and so I think I'll take her some of these. These look pretty good. I don't think we do that enough. Share with our neighbors. A lot of people don't even know who their neighbors are. Um, we've been here for 3 years and I still don't know a lot of people. Now, I am very much a stay at home, um, more introverted type person. Uh, so I guess it just depends on how your personality is and where you live and all that. All right, these are going in the oven, and let's see how long. For 10 to 12 minutes. I can't wait to taste these. These really smell wonderful. I've got these ready to come off and get on our cooling rack over here. Can you see that cooling rack? These little cooling racks like this. These are so handy. Yeah. Yeah, I tried to move the other ones a little too fast. The first ones of these I took out. They smell so good. Rich, chocolatey. I love chocolate. And since I smelled of this one, this smells so good. Rich and chocolatey. Cake-like on the inside. Oh, wow. Mmm. Mmm. These are so good. Oh, man. Y'all have got to try these chocolate ones. They are fantastic. So let's get the rest of these on this pan and we can get these wrapped up. These are going to be so good too because they smell like a yellow cake. I love that smell. All right. These are going in the oven and I'll bring you back when they come out so I can show you how they turned out. I love you. I'm so proud of you. Remember, you always have a friend here. I'll see you on the next one.